Welcome back. My name's Connor,
And I'm Clay.
and this is the PatsCast, the podcast for everything New England Patriots. So, simply put, crazy week in New England. We're recording this as of March 14th. This
And
is a
it is
Sunday.
snowing.
It is snowing. But yeah, like I said, crazy week in New England. Free agency hasn't even started yet. We still have a couple days to go, but the Patriots have made some key acquisitions. So if you checked out the PatsCast Instagram, I made three posts. Um, one focusing on uh, the earliest acquisition, Trent Brown returning to New England. He signed a fat contract with the Las Vegas Raiders, but I guess he was unhappy with the situation there. So Pats called up the Raiders, and yeah, so Pats are getting Trent Brown, a seventh round pick, and they're giving away their fifth round pick this year. So, and on top of that, they're also reconstructing his contract to 1 year, 11 million. So uh, that helps the cap space. And most recently, actually today, Marcus Cannon, right tackle for the New England Patriots, was traded to the Houston Texans in exchange for the fourth and fifth and sixth round picks. So essentially, the Patriots trade up and now hold the number three pick in each of those respective rounds. So yeah, those are the two big trades as of recent. So yeah, next we'll go on to uh, rumors. And Clay, you mentioned earlier N'Keal Harry.
Yep.
There's some rumors there. So
So there have been some teams that have inquired about N'Keal Harry, and using Belichick precedent, that might mean that the Patriots as an organization are moving on from N'Keal Harry when you start rearing trade rumors. As well as this, we have Demir Bird, who is likely going into free agency because the franchise tag, which we're going to talk about in just a second, that has came and passed, and the Patriots decided not to tag anyone. So we're going to have quite a few players floating into free agency. I believe, Connor, you talked about a offensive player who are going after possibly. There's rumors.
um,
The Colts.
yeah, so it's actually an edge rusher on the Colts, Denico Autry. He's
Oh,
expected
edge
to go
rusher. My bad.
into free agency. No, you're good. But the Patriots need more edge rushers. They need more pressure on that defensive line. They need to cause more pressure, and Denico Autry on the younger side. Since the Patriots are getting rid of Adam Butler, he's expected to hit free agency as well as Jason McCourty. Um, Patriots could use that cap space that they've been saving up and land big on a guy like Autry to bring in.
All right. So as mentioned earlier, the franchise tags, the deadline came and went. It was March 9th.
Yep.
And from that deadline, we saw Denver sign safety Justin Simmons, Carolina sign tackle Taylor Morton, the New York Jets signed the free safety Marcus May, the Giants signed defensive tackle Leonard Williams, Washington football team offensive guard Brendan Scherf, and then Jacksonville signed the offensive tackle Cam Robinson, and then the two ones that are important for us here, wide receivers not hitting free agency, the Bucks and the Bears, both decided to tag, well, respectively, Chris Godwin and Allen Robinson, which means that those two fellows will not be hitting free agency and are not targetable by the Patriots. However, some intrigue. Allen Robinson allegedly has refused to sign his franchise tag. So we could see some interesting things going on in free agency, especially with Allen Robinson. Chris Godwin is now out of the picture. So in terms of wide receivers, I think it'd be good to focus on someone like a Corey Davis, someone like a Golden Tate, someone like possibly a
Kenny Galladay.
Kenny
Ooh.
Galladay. He's a little bit of a white whale, but uh, we shall see. We
hmm
shall see.
Yeah, I'm surprised with the Chris Godwin franchise tag because I was really thinking they'd place it on Levante David, inside linebacker. But no, the Bucks actually ended up extending him for 2 years and also extending Tom Brady's contract by another year. So yeah, Tampa Bay's Tampa Bay's doing some early stuff to keep that super squad. So yeah. The next subject we're going to cover is are some key releases. Miami is releasing Kyle Van Noy, former Patriot. You know, it's weird because they signed him to a fat 4-year contract, but they're already unhappy with him, and he's hitting the free agency market. So that's that. Clay mentioned earlier the New York Giants released Golden Tate, veteran wide receiver. Let's see. Vikings released Kyle Rudolph. Saints released Jared Cook. And then most recently, the Chiefs surprising everyone and releasing both of their starting tackles, Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. So, yeah, teams that are looking for offensive line help on both ends to anchor. They could reach out to Schwartz or Fisher and pay them big. But yeah, surprising. Actually, not really surprising after that Patrick Mahomes contract for $500 million. But you can see that the Chiefs are
Yeah.
finally getting hit by their capital, and they're gonna have to make some moves. So we'll see
And
what happens.
Mahomes' contract was also renegotiated too, so lots of interesting action going on.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah. So those are some key releases. Also, as I mentioned before, Kenny Galladay did not end up signing the franchise tag with Detroit, so he will be hitting the free agency market. Um, but he is expecting around $20 million per year. Um, I'd argue that he is, a $20 million per year wide receiver. I've stated before that I believe that he's the best jump ball sideline receiver in the league, but um, yeah, but he'll be hitting the market. We'll see where he lands and stuff like that. But the big, I'd say the
Oh, and
biggest,
Juju.
and
Juju's also hitting the market too.
and Juju, yeah. So well, still a lot of talented receivers entering the market, despite Godwin and maybe Robinson signing the franchise tag for their teams. Um,
All right. So, biggest news of the week, obviously, is going to be that Cam Newton signing. Connor and I both called it. I think it might be too early to tell. But I think he's our starter. He signed a pretty good 1 year deal for around 16 million. The breakdown is it's a sort of a 5 million base value, 2 million signing bonus, and then a 1.5 base salary guaranteed. And then 1.5 total in sort of uh, and then 9 million in incentives for uh, playoffs, MVP, Super Bowl MVP, AP All Pro, and the Pro Bowl. So it's kind of a standard contract. But the thing that I'm interested in is, and this might sound a little bit of a non sequitur, but the person who signed usually where Nick Caserio signs, longtime executive for the New England Patriots, is Matt Patricia. What do you think about that, Connor?
yeah, I mean, I was kind of, when the Patriots decided to bring him back, I was kind of questioning where he'd, play a role on the team. Is he going to go back to being, some coach on the defense? But yeah, no, Matt Patricia. I didn't hear about this, so thank you for clarifying that. But yeah, no, Matt Patricia negotiating that contract with Cam Newton. But yeah, I'm just surprised with all those incentives. You don't really see a player, sign with, not that much guaranteed money like that. But, Cam Newton is a leader. We've been over this before. He's a player. He's a team guy. He's not always in it for the money. And, that's kind of like the Patriots way, I guess, is, working hard and not expecting much in return. But, yeah, Cam Newton coming back for another year. What does that say for us in the draft? Does that mean or does that mean the Patriots draft, a defensive player, a wide receiver? Do they actually end up drafting a quarterback at 15? Who knows? But for now, as a Patriots fan, I can say I'm happy because I've always been a Cam Newton guy, and it's nice to see Cam Newton return for another year.
Absolutely. And I think that this still leaves us with a little bit of money. if we want to possibly sign some other players, obviously, but even the market for quarterback, because we have such large amounts of cap space, everything is still on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just sort of glad that we're not entering, as much as I think that Jarrett Stidham has a whole bunch of potential still. We really didn't get to see him perform to the best of his ability last season. He was just sort of a backup, or in some cases, a backup to a backup.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Jared Stidham was the man for most of the offseason last season. And I am so excited to see Cam be the guy to hopefully be built around, and so excited to see this sort of new ingrained confidence in the Patriots in the sense that it's not necessarily a rebuild, but it is a rethinking and restructuring
Mm-hmm.
and an upgrading period for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited about this offseason. This is starting the offseason off with a fantastic uh, note, a positive note, and something that I think um, is sending a message to other teams that the Patriots are out there to have a fantastic offseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we've mentioned before that the Patriots front office is one of the smartest in the league, and you know everything that I wanted the Patriots to do so far in the offseason has already been done. Looking at Marcus Cannon's contract, the Patriots saved a little over 6 million, and excluding Trent Brown's reconstructed contract and Justin Bethel's re-signing, the Patriots are standing now at around $65.3 million. So, you know, like Clay stated before, Patriots can make a big splash in free agency and bring in a ton of talent to help rebuild the Patriots to the status they were years ago. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, um, really exciting so far. Not only have the Patriots. Oh, speaking of, I was going to mention draft capital. Patriots were rewarded with two compensatory draft picks this year. They got a third rounder and a fourth rounder. I think one was for Tom Brady and the other was for Jamie Collins. But just more draft capital to enter the NFL draft with, and maybe the Patriots can land some gems there. So yeah, like I said, as a Patriots fan, I'm very happy with what the office has been doing so far. The players that the Patriots have brought in. Trent Brown is a fantastic guy. You know, big man, around 6'8", 6'9". Um, he'll be able to protect Cam Newton from fierce pass rushers and all of that. I actually posted it was kind of a meme on the Instagram of Trent Brown going against Aaron Donald, and Aaron Donald looks so tiny compared to Trent Brown. But yeah, no, Trent Brown's happy to return to New England. Like I said, he was unhappy with this situation in Las Vegas, and yeah, Trent Brown's back. Marcus Cannon is gone, sadly. He's been with the Patriots his entire career, but um, I'd say it's for the best in terms of a rebuilding or a rethinking stage, as Clay mentioned. So,
Yeah. And we have a fantastic group of five um, offensive tackles and a guard.
mm-hmm,
So I think that this free agency update and tagging update and re-signing update. This is a 100% a positive one. So
mm-hmm,
a quick video for you guys this week, but hopefully one that sets the mood off right for the upcoming week. Despite the weird snow, let's pretend that it was just more of the good weather that we had the past couple days.
yep. But yeah, that's that, and yep. Yeah, we'll see you guys soon.